Hi, it's Dee. I just wanted to go over really quick white balance in Lightroom. It is very much similar like white balance in ACR. If you watch the other video, you can see that this basic panel in Lightroom, I'm in Lightroom 4. The older ones are Lightroom 3's different, and it's like the older version of ACR, but if you have the newer ACR and the newer Lightroom, this is what the basic panel is, same as what it is in ACR. So you control your white balance up here, temp and tint. And this is your dropper right here. And even in the older versions, which you can easily switch and see what that looks like. Let me switch it over to show you what like the older basic panel had different stuff down here. But the temp and tint is the same thing, so it just affects the other stuff like the curves and the other parts of the basic panel, like highlights and shadows. They change those. So, same thing, you can just grab your little dropper and drop on a neutral point. I'm going to drop on, it's a very old image, and actually right after I just started. So, with my older camera, I was not able to shoot in Kelvin, so I couldn't choose the exact white balance I wanted, and I think I shot auto white balance maybe on these. I can actually look it up, but we're just going to drop on a neutral point. And what's great about Lightroom is if you look over top corner here, oops, I didn't close it up. Okay, this top corner here on the navigator, if you see whenever I drag my white dropper, it's going to change colors around. You can kind of, without having to switch it, look over there and see if you like the tone it's doing, and notice if that's close, similar to what it should be. Like that is pretty close to what it will look like. It probably look more like that. And then drop down the exposure. And like if I went over here, her scarf had some grays in it and then some cool tones, and then the jacket is a black. So as you can see when I'm scrolling through, it's going to look slightly different depending on the black, if the black's in the highlight or the shadow. But that's pretty close to where it should be, and so the only thing is maybe add a magenta on this one and cool it down just a bit. And that's just more towards my, oops, wrong button, my style. I like it to be. So that was before and after. As you can see, it changed it quite a bit. Of course, if you're trying to go for that, using white balance creatively, you can do that, like leave it cooler. Just make sure you warm up the skin or correct the skin tone to the correct, or warmer white balance. So that was the correct white balance on there. And like I said, these are raw images. I also grabbed a JPEG, and I'm gonna just use the dropper really quick on a neutral point, and that's pretty close to where I want it to be. As you see, this was much cooler. Same with that one, those were both much cooler. And like I said, this one was shot in JPEG. And the reason why I tell you the difference between RAW and JPEG with white balance, and I'll show you, as you can see, temp and tint, instead of having the big, let me click back over there, like Kelvin type numbers on temp, it's just got sort of like tint, where you can go up to 100 or negative 100. And I'm just going to show you if I drag temp and tint all the way to 100, it's super red. And you can see over here in the histogram how the red channel's going off the top there because it's blowing out that red channel. In my raw image, if I pull these all the way to the right, as you can see, my red channel it's not allowing it to blow out because I have extra, RAW retains the extra detail in the image, and JPEG unfortunately doesn't. So if your white balance is close when you're shooting JPEG, it's not a big issue, but when your white balance is really off, it can really affect your highlights on your image. So just be aware of that, and I always like to shoot RAW anyway, because it's just my preferred file type since I've been doing it since since I started actually. I started shooting RAW shortly after I started. And sometimes I do switch to JPEG like this one if I'm running out of camera space and I don't have a memory card on me or something like that. Or sometimes personal images I do, but generally I like to shoot in RAW so I can have that extra detail to adjust any white balances or exposures if I need to. So hopefully that will help you guys with adjusting your white balance and ACR, or this is in Lightroom. But this is very similar on adjusting white balance because this is basically like ACR but in a nicer package. Thank you.